My dear students, today's topic of discussion in cost accounting is labor cost control. The contents of this particular unit is introduction part, meaning, and what is the meaning of labor cost, and what do you mean by labor cost control, and scope of labor cost control, idle time, wage and incentive schemes, and essentials of a good wage system and incentive plan. This much we have to discuss. Thereafter, we will take up the procedure for calculating the wages of employees under piece rate system. Today's class is confined for this. See, one by one, let us start the contents. The first important content is you have introduction parts. Labor cost is a second major element of cost. The control of labor cost and its accounting is very difficult as it deals with human element. Labor is the most perishable commodity and as such should be effectively utilized immediately. That is the introduction part. Coming to the meaning of labor, labor refers to the manpower engaged in manufacture or processing of finished goods. They refers to those engaged in converting raw material into finished goods and further processing until they are ready for sale. See, the labor can be classified into two types. First one is direct labor, second one is indirect labor. Direct labor or operating labor is also known as productive labor, refers to those who are directly engaged in the production process. The examples are foremen, machine operators, etc. Coming to the second important type of labor is indirect labor. Indirect labor refers to those who are not directly engaged in the production process like packers, loaders and cleaners, etc. Next, we will go to the next important topic, that is the labor cost. What do you mean by labor cost? Labor cost refers to the payment made to the labor force of the organization. It is the payment made to employees, permanent or temporary, for their services. So this is the meaning of labor cost. Now we shall proceed to the labor cost control, the exact meaning of labor cost control. Labor cost control means the control over the cost incurred on labor. Control over labor cost does not imply control over the size of wage bill, and it is also does not imply that the wages of each worker should be kept as low as possible. It means aiming at keep the wages cost per unit of the output as low as possible. That's the meaning of labor cost. See, coming to the next content, according to our unit bifurcation is, which are the departments which are involved in the control of the labor costs. The first department is personnel department, engineering and work study department, timekeeping department, payroll department, cost accounting department, and those are the departments which are involved in the control of the labor costs. So, second important thing is time analysis, time keeping and time booking. See, these are some of the important things which are to be understood. Now, let us proceed to the next important content, that is the idle time. So, what do you mean by idle time? Idle time represents the time for which the wages are paid but no production is resulted. Please understand, this is the time for which the wages are paid but production is nil or zero. Idle time can be classified into two types. One is controllable idle time, second one is uncontrollable idle time. See, controllable idle time. What are the causes for there? This can also be bifurcated into two important reasons for which the idle time takes place. So for that, there are two important reasons for idle time. So the normal idle time. In normal idle time, number one is time lost between factory gate and place of work, time spent on setting of the machine, time spent to overtime fatigue and tiredness, time spent on workers' personal needs like taking lunch, tea, rest, etc. These are the normal idle reasons for normal idle time. Abnormal idle time, the time lost on account of machine breakdown, power failure, non-availability of equipment, etc. Time lost on account of non-availability of raw material, time lost in long waiting time due to defective planning and lack of coordination, and time lost on account of strikes, lockouts, poor supervision, fire accidents, etc. These are some of the important reasons for abnormal idle time. Now, let us go to wage and incentive systems. Before proceeding to wage and incentive systems, let us try to understand what is a good wage system. If you want to call any wage system as a very good wage system, what are the essentials of a good wage system? A good wage system has the following features. It must be fair both to employer and employee. The employer must be assured of increased production and the employer must be assured of reasonable wages. The wage system must be based on time study and motion study. Second one, the wage system must guarantee minimum wages to the workers irrespective of the degree of efficiency. Third one, the wage system is good when it recognizes the merit of the workers. In other words, the inefficient workers efficient workers must be recognized and suitably rewarded. The wage system must ensure more wages to the skilled workers, and there must be a link between remuneration and quantum of work. The wage system must be flexible and it must be able to adapt the changes. A good wage system is one which minimizes the labor turnover. Next one, before introducing a wage system, it is necessary to make a review of the wage rate in the same industry. The wage system must not violate the trade union agreements. And next important essential of a good wage system is the wage system must ensure the real wages. Real wages refers to the remuneration paid to the workers by taking into consideration the cost of living index points also should be considered, and the basis of that dearness allowance is also fixed. Last but not the least, wage system must also take into consideration the capacity of the organization to pay. This is very important point what is to be taken into consideration. While fixing or while evolving the wage system, we must determine the ability to pay also of the organization. See, these are some of the important essentials of a good wage system. Now, let us proceed to the essentials of a good incentive scheme. The incentive scheme must be welcomed by the workers, trade union, and the management. There must be direct link between effort and reward. The scheme must be simple to operate and easy to follow. The standard must be set by taking into account. The standard set must not be changed frequently. No upper limit should be placed upon the amount of individual earnings. The scheme must be aimed at increasing the production and reducing the cost. As noted already, the scheme must not be complicated. It must be simple in the sense that even an ordinary worker must be able to understand the incentive scheme. Next one, the incentive scheme must result in coordinated effort of all concerned. This is a very much necessary for the accomplishment of the objectives of the organization. The scheme must be such that it results in an effective grievance procedure for the immediate redressal the complaints of the workers. See, after knowing all these things, let us go to the problem area where you will have to calculate the wages of the workers and different methods. See, basically there are two things. One is when the wages are paid on the basis of piece rate system and on the basis of time rate system. See, I restrict today's discussion only for piece rate system. Piece rate system I am going to discuss about that. See here, basically there are three important types of piece rate system. One is straight piece rate system, piece rate with guaranteed day wages, and differential piece rate system. Now let us try to understand what is the straight piece rate system. Straight piece rate system, under this system, wages are paid on the basis of the number of units produced. More the number of units produced, more will be the wages. No output, no wages. Here, the wages are calculated. Wages is equal to units produced and rate per unit. This is the first one, first variety, straight piece rate. Coming to the second one, piece rate with guaranteed day wages. Under this system, the different workers get their wages on the basis of the piece rate. The amount of wages increases with an increase in the efficiency. Inefficient workers are guaranteed of the day wages. For calculating their wages, piece rate will not be used. This is the second important thing, what is to be understood. Now, let us go to the differential piece rate system. In this case, different piece rates operate. Higher piece rate will be given for efficient workers. Lower piece rate will be given for inefficient workers. In other words, the amount of wages is linked with the level of efficiency of the workers. According to our syllabus, today we are going to discuss and we will solve the problems only on two important methods. Number one is Merrick's differential piece rate. Second one is Taylor's differential piece rate. Now let's understand what does this Merrick's differential piece rate system say. In the case of a Merrick system, the workers are divided into three categories and three piece rates will be used for calculating the wages after setting the standard output. See, there are three categories. One is A, another one is B, another one is C. See, ordinary piece rate will be given to the workers who are up to 83% of efficiency. I told you already, standard output is fixed and the ordinary piece rate up to 83% of the efficiency. Second slab is 110% of the differential piece rate to the workers, those who are above 83% of efficiency but less than 100% of efficiency. See, the third category is 120% of ordinary piece rate to the workers who are above 100% of efficiency. Please understand, while calculating the differential piece rates, standard output is fixed and ordinary piece rate to the workers who are up to 83% of efficiency. And second slab is 110% of ordinary piece rate to the workers who are above 83% of efficiency but less than 100%. See, 120% of ordinary piece rate to the workers who are above 100% of efficiency. This is the Merrick's differential piece rate. See, coming to the second important thing, Taylor's differential piece rate system. In this case, the workers are classified into two types. That's very important thing. See, we have to fix up the standard. Two categories we are going to fix up. Those who are below the standard and those who are above the standard. So those who are up below the standard and those who are above the standard. For the workers who are below the standard, ordinary piece rate will not be given. And instead of this, they will be given only 80% of the piece rate. For the efficient workers, 125% of the piece rate will be given plus 50% of the piece rate as bonus. 125% of the normal piece rate plus 50% will be given in the form of the bonus. That's very important point what is to be understood. In our next session, we shall have some problems and let us try to solve it.